Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gom Labha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Janavalabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Janavalabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana, Shodanandana Vraja Janaranjana, Yamunatira Vanachari, Yamunatira Vanachari, Yamunatira Vanachari, Yamunatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Shri Shri Radha Kunj Bihari ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone again for coming today. Because we have a little bit of time before we start the class, something we haven't done all this month of Kartik is actually read the translation of Damodar Ashtakam. We all know this beautiful pastime, but this particular song that is in the Padma Puran, it is recommended to sing it every time during this month of Kartik. So I've often wondered why. Because you know, you can sing anything during the month of Kartik. Why only this particular prayer? And it is because this conversation that Satyavrata Muni has with Narad Muni is so beautiful. And he's particularly glorifying this singular pastime of the Lord in this entire prayer that he sings to Damodar. And this particular pastime, and my mother spoke about this 2 weeks ago, is so unique in all of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Because in almost every pastime of Krishna that we read about or is there in Krishna book, you see Krishna playing the role of a protector. Right? Whether it is protecting them from Putana or from Dhenukasura or from Trinavatra or from Aghasura, or even to the extent protecting the villages of Vrindavan from Brahma's innocent act of kidnapping the villagers to test Krishna's strength. Krishna is always playing the role of a protector. Even in the pastime of Damodar Leela, Krishna plays the role of a protector, right? He's protecting Nalakuvera and Manigriva when he's saving them from the tree. So Krishna's role is very consistent. Krishna shows his mischief also in Krishna Leela, where Krishna is stealing butter or stealing the clothes of the gopi, or Krishna playing pranks with Srimati Radharani. But there is no other pastime where someone is able to bind Krishna with their love. You know, even when the gopis, even when Krishna is leaving with Akrura, the gopis are crying. Krishna, stay back, stay back. But yet Krishna says, no, I have to leave. You know, I have to do my duty at this time. But in this particular pastime, Krishna allows himself to be bound. So I just want to take a few minutes to read the translation of Damodar Ashtakam before we get into class. Is that okay with everyone? Is it on the screen, Prabhu? So maybe can devotees take turn to read the translation?
Of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed to the Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara. I offer my humble obeisances.
Someone read the next verse.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes, in this he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with the rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of entire universe. Humbly bow down to you, your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Shri Damodara Ashtakam ki. So this is such a beautiful prayer that you see the way Satyavata Muni is glorifying Mata Yashoda. He's glorifying Damodar, he's glorifying Radha Damodar, and he's also requesting what vision that he wants to be in front of his eye all the time, right? And that is one of my favorite verses, that this vision of Krishna being bound by Mata Yashoda, that love is the vision that he wants to see. So as we are midway through the month of Kartik, it's nice for us in the second half to focus on that pastime. Jai. So we will start by chanting Mangalacharan prayers and we will go into the class today. Please chant together. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tamstajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyo eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. First, I have to give a full disclaimer. I have absolutely no qualification in sitting on this Vyasasana. I tried to move the Vyasasana away because it felt very awkward to sit on it, but it was very heavy. So I physically could not move this, but I seek for blessings and from permission from all of you today to share some glories, some Krishna Katha and some appreciation of some of our Vaishnavacharyas. Do I have your permission? Do I have your blessings to share this? Thank you so much. So, when I was in school, in our assembly when I was in school, we used to have Thursday, Friday holiday. So Saturday, we used to go to school. I didn't go to a very oppressed school. I went to a school in the Middle East where Friday was a public holiday. Whenever I tell people I went to school on a Sunday, they always wonder if they need to call human rights or something. No, the law was there, so we were off on Friday. So every Saturday when school would start, we would, in our assembly, somebody would recap. All of this happened this past week. It was like 5 minutes, they would recap the news or something that happened. So I thought today we'll do a news recap because there was a lot that happened this past week. And I wanted to talk about some of the important events that took place this week. I promise I will not be speaking about the US election. So even though that took place this week, today's class, we're not talking about that. So first, we'll talk about Gopashtami, which happened. When was Gopashtami? Yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about Gopashtami. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very beautiful verse, but as I pull that verse up here, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami says, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15, verse 1. Shri Sukavacha Tatasya Pauganda Vayashrutavraje Bhabhuvatustau Pashupala Samatau Gascharayantau Sakibhi Samampadait Vrindavanam Punyam Ativa Chakrutuhu. Sukadeva Goswami said, when Lord Rama or Balaram and Lord Krishna attained the age of Pauganda, 6 to 10, while living in Vrindavan, the cowherd men allowed them to take up the task of tending the cows. Engaging thus in the company of their friends, the two boys rendered the land of Vrindavan most auspicious by imprinting upon it the marks of their lotus feet. So this verse is telling you what happens on Gopashtami. So we'll talk a little bit about how this came into being, this festival of Gopashtami. So when Krishna turns 6 years old, he is now entered the Pauganda stage. He has become a big boy. Any 6-year-old kids here? 6-year-old kids? No 6-year-old kids? Okay. So I see some 6-year-olds here. Any 6-year-olds? Okay, we'll do nail polish tomorrow. Thank you. See, my 3-year-old also thinks she's an adult and she's asking for nail polish. So when you hit a certain age, you don't want to be called a child, right? So Janvi, if I call you a baby, do you want to be called a baby? No, right? Amay, do you want to be called a baby? No. Meera, do you want to be called as a baby? No. Prahlad, do you want to be called a baby? No, right? We don't want to be called as babies. Jaya, do you want to be called a baby? Are you a baby? No. She's also not a baby, right? So you hit, I'm being asked, Roopsagar, do you want to be called a baby? Okay. See, now he's actually at the start of my class, so I can pick on him more. It usually comes at the end, so it's good. So we don't want to be called, right? So Krishna also doesn't want to be called a child. When Krishna appears in Vrindavan, he's even though he's the supreme personality of Godhead, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, when he comes to Vrindavan, he's come as the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. He's a child. He doesn't want to be called a baby anymore because until the age of 5, Krishna was only taking care of what? Calves. Only of calves. And the Mother Yashoda and all of the senior gopis in Vrindavan, they created a boundary on the courtyard. Krishna was only allowed to go there within that space so that they could all keep an eye on Krishna and his friends, that they didn't go into the forest and everything. Now Krishna tells her, Maya, I'm a big boy right now. Why do you take care of cows? This is for babies. I want to take care of the big cows. Mother Yashoda says, no, Krishna, you're still small. Take care of the cows. He's like, no, I don't want to just be taking care of the cows. I don't want to be Vatsapal. I want to be Gopal. Yes, I want to take care of goats. I want to take care of cows. And then Mother Yashoda again, she says, Krishna, you're so young. I don't want you to go into the forest. There's a lot of dangerous and scary things in the forest, and forest is not a good place for young boys. Krishna says, but all my friends are going to go to the forest. I want to go to the forest. Does that sound familiar to any of the parents here? Have you heard that from your children? If you have not, you're very lucky. Because it's eventually coming at some point, right? Krishna's like, all my friends are going. I want to go. Mother Yashoda says, no, it's not safe. Anything can happen in the forest. And Krishna says, Mother Yashoda, are you forgetting? I was the one that killed Trinavatra. Mother Yashoda says, oh, that was just luck. It was just, Lord Vishnu, you were just there by accident, by chance. Actually, Trinavatra was killed by Lord Vishnu. You were just there. And Krishna says, okay, when I was 6 months old, I killed Putana. that was also just your luck you were there. It was actually Lord Vishnu who protected you. Now Krishna is getting angry because he really wants to go with his friends, right? Naturally, right? You want to hang out with your friends. And Krishna is, why is my mother not letting me hang out with my friends? And then Krishna, Krishna is not, he's giving all these examples, but Mother Yashoda is not convinced. She doesn't want to be separate from Krishna. She wants Krishna to be within her line of sight, within her line of sight. Which is natural, right? That's the mother's feeling, the desire. I was hearing this comedian recently. He was making this joke. He was saying like how in certain cultures, like the parents, like after the child turns 18, they tell, now you go find your own way. He said for an Indian mother, if you stay in the same house for the rest of your life, that gives the most joy, that you're within that bubble of space, right? Mother Yashoda also didn't want to be separate from Krishna. Then who convinces her that it's okay for Krishna to go to the forest? Who convinces her? Balaram, yes. So now Krishna is helped. Krishna doesn't know, what can I do to convince my mother? He turns and looks towards his older brother. Ab tumi kuch karo yaar. I want to join you. Can you please convince my... So Krishna goes to Mother Yashoda. Balaram goes to Mother Yashoda and he says that, don't worry. I am there, right? I know Krishna is small, but I am there to protect him. Don't worry. I will make sure he won't get into any trouble. Mother Yashoda looks at Balaram and she says, okay, fine. Because you are there to protect him, I will send him. Now Krishna is very happy. Yes, I can go into the forest with cows. I am Gopal. I'm a big boy now. I can take care of the cows. I can go play with my friends in the forest. And then Mother Yashoda says, I just have 2 requests. The first request is, I'd like you to come back by lunchtime, only on the first day. Because I cannot bear to be separated from you for so long. So first day, come back by lunch. Krishna says, yeah, that's acceptable to me. I can come back by lunch. And then she says, the second is, the forest is not very smooth. There's a lot of pebbles, a lot of stones, there's a lot of thorns in the forest. And she says, I want you to wear shoes. Just be on the safe side. Then Krishna says, Maya, I am now Gopal. I am taking care of the cows. It's not fair if only I am wearing shoes, but my cows are not wearing shoes. And Mother Yashoda is very confused. Because to get shoes for Krishna is 2 shoes. Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. And how many legs does a cow have? 4. So how many shoes is that? How many? 3.6 million shoes. I love shoes. Trust me, if you ever come to my house, it's hidden. I love shoes. Not enough to have 3.6 million shoes. That's a lot of shoes. So Mother Yashoda is like confused. How am I supposed to get you the shoes? Krishna is like, nothing doing. You have to get me the shoes, and you have to get me the shoes by tomorrow. Because tomorrow is the day it's Gopashtami, I'm going to go take the cows. So within 24 hours, or maybe less than 24 hours, get me 33.6 million shoes. Mother Yashoda starts to freak out because here Krishna obviously wants to go out. So she's afraid, what is he going to do now if I don't get shoes to his cows? Mother Yashoda starts to pray in the state of helplessness. Like, I don't know what to do. There's no way I can please you. Because if I tell you don't go with your friends, you're unhappy. If I send you without shoes for your cow, you're unhappy. I don't know what to please you. So she starts praying deeply. When the cows see Mother Yashoda's very intense prayer, to make sure that the ground is safe for Krishna to walk on, the cows create a stampede. They do a massive stampede, and that causes all of the pebbles and everything to get crushed. And then the whole forest becomes smooth and safe for Krishna to walk in. You see this even today when you go to Vrindavan, you go to do Vrajmandal Parikrama or Govardhan Parikrama, it is so smooth. And it's almost like, when the first time we went, I was confused. Because Vrindavan, you don't associate with sand. But like you go to Govardhan Parikrama, you see sand. Like you don't see pebbles. There may be 1 or 2 pebbles here. But it is very easy, even for young children, to do Govardhan Parikrama or Rajmandal Parikrama without their shoes. Which is very hard actually. That's because Mother Yashoda desired so much for Lord Krishna to walk on the safe ground. That's when the cows, to please Mother Yashoda, to fulfill Mother Yashoda's desire, they did this stampede and flattened the ground. So it was safe for Krishna to walk on. So this is the power of a devotee, you know, like how if a devotee desires, Krishna takes care through his agents. So this is why we celebrate Gopashtami. It is the day Krishna became a big boy, and Krishna became from Vatsapal to Gopal. And you know, so much of our pastimes and how we relate to Krishna, just as the way in his Kaumari state, we relate to Krishna with butter pots, Krishna in his youth is always related to cows. So that is the significance of Gopashtami. The next important event that took place yesterday was the disappearance day of Srila Srinivas Acharya. Narottam Das Thakur, in his very famous prayer, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, the last verse of that is, Doya karo Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangha Mange Narottama Dasa. So Srinivas Acharya was born in the second generation of devotees from Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared obviously with his principal associates, and Goswamis were there during Mahaprabhu's time, but it was really after Mahaprabhu when he departed and after he performed his Leela, the Goswamis really started spreading the teachings of Mahaprabhu with Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami leading in the hem. After that, the next tier of devotees that appeared, who were all born around the time Mahaprabhu was present, but really started spreading the teachings. Among them, the three principal ones that we talk about often are Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya. So they're among the second tier of people. So Srinivas Acharya's, his birth is also a very beautiful story here. So over 500 years ago, in like early 16th century, there was this devotee by the name of Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Gangadhar Bhattacharya and his wife Lakshmi Priya were traveling from their village to go to Katwa in West Bengal to visit his father-in-law, Lakshmi Priya's mother. So while they were going from where they were, the village to Katwa, they saw that there was a lot of commotion and crowd around Keshav Bharati Maharaj's ashram. There's just a lot of people there. So wondering, what's happening here? So they take a detour to see why are all these people here, like what big thing is happening today. They were not sure what they were doing there or why the crowd was gathered, but it happens, right? Sometimes when you see a lot of people gathered, you want to see what's going on. So they go there, and there they ask what's happening here, and they ask people, and people say, oh, we cannot tell you. We just heard a very scary rumor. And I don't want to tell you what the rumor is. In case the rumor is not true, I don't want to spread things like this. So no, we are not going to tell you. We just heard something that is very not pleasurable to the ear. So now they get even more curious. Like what is that happening at Keshav Bharati Maharaj's house that people can't tell you? So when they go to Keshav Bharati Maharaj's house, there's a lot of crowd there. And then slowly they make their way to the crowd, and there they see Mahaprabhu sitting. Keshav Bharati Maharaj is sitting next to Mahaprabhu with tears in his eyes, trembling, and there is a barber behind Mahaprabhu with his knife. Mahaprabhu is so beautiful, this tall golden figure with lush, beautiful hair, who was traveling all over Navadvip, Jagannath Puri, chanting the glories of Krishna. He's standing, a barber is standing behind him, shaking his head. His hand is shaking. And then at this point, Mahaprabhu says that this is the time has come for me to take sannyas. He tells the Baba, shave my head. And the Baba says, I can't do this. I cannot be the one responsible for cutting out this beautiful hair. But Mahaprabhu says, that is my instruction. After you shave my head, you don't need to shave anyone else's hair. That's the last hair you will shave. So it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the barber didn't even need to wet Mahaprabhu's hair because he was crying so much as he was shaving this. Because this was a big thing for Mahaprabhu to take sannyas, and there's a beautiful pastime fully surrounding that with Nityananda Prabhu opposing Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. So much happens there, but this is that pivotal historic moment in our Gaudiya Vaishnava history where Mahaprabhu is accepting sannyas. So he tells Keshav Bharati Maharaj that, I am now shaving my head. Please give me the danda and give me sannyas initiation right now. So Keshav Bharati Maharaj has to follow the order of Mahaprabhu. So he he says, fine. He gives him his danda, and then he gives him the name. From today onwards, you will be named as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. This whole sight of Mahaprabhu taking sannyas is witnessed by Gangadhar Bhattacharya. They were devotees, but they had never met Mahaprabhu. They had only heard about who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. Him and his wife had never met him. They just heard of Mahaprabhu's glories. But when they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pre-sannyas and his sannyas form on that singular day, they both just broke down into tears, and they kept just chanting, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Even after Mahaprabhu left Katwa, only thing they were doing is they were just non-stop chanting, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Their heart and mind and soul was just engulfed with the love of Mahaprabhu. So at this time, they're so much in love of Mahaprabhu that Gangadhar Bhattacharya's name now becomes Chaitanya Dasa. He becomes, I'm the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after they witness this incident, some time passes, and then Gangadhar has a desire, Chaitanya Das has a desire in his heart that I want to have a child. Because my name is Chaitanya Das, but I actually haven't done anything to serve Mahaprabhu. I want a child that can serve Mahaprabhu. So then he goes and talks to his wife, and he says, what do you think? And she says, it's so strange you say that because I'm having the same desire too. So then they say, now that we both have this desire, let's see if we can get darshan of Mahaprabhu and get his blessings. So then, Gangadhar Chaitanya Das and his wife Lakshmi Priya, they go from their village all the way to Jagannath Puri where Mahaprabhu is there. And somehow, by Krishna's mystical arrangement, they get audience, they get darshan of Mahaprabhu. And then they tell Mahaprabhu, this is our desire. Mahaprabhu blesses them to say that this is wonderful. Go pray to Jagannath that this will happen and you will have a child that will help me in my mission. So Gangadhar, Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya are very happy to get blessings from Mahaprabhu. And then they go and they pray to Lord Jagannath. And then when they come back, they find out Lakshmi Priya is pregnant, and then her child becomes who's born. When he's born, he gets the name of Srinivas. And Srinivas Acharya's contribution to our Gaudiya Vaishnavism is very, very profound. Some of the big things that Srinivas Acharya did, one was in Keturi, which is a village in Bengal. He organized the first Gaur Purnima festival, along with Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit and many other Vaishnavas. Why is this significant? Is because that in Keturi, when he started that first festival, almost over 500 years ago, that same festival is continued. That same festival is what inspired Srila Prabhupada to establish the annual Gaur Purnima festival that takes place in Mayapur today. Because it was the occasion where throughout the year, you're everywhere preaching in all of your respective towns and villages, right? But at Gaur Purnima, everyone would come to this one place to worship to Mahaprabhu, to empower them to continue preaching the rest of the year. So at one time here, you come together to gain that Vaishnava Sangha, that empowerment, and go and disperse it everywhere. So he helped organize that first Gaur Purnima festival in Keturi. And Srinivas Acharya was also personally trained by Srila Jiva Goswami. He was a Diksha disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and personally trained by Srila Jiva Goswami. And in the Radha Damodar temple, where the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami is there, Srila Jiva Goswami passed the teachings of the entire Rupanuga Sampradaya to him. And it was Jiva Goswami who gave him the name of Acharya. So he became from Srinivas, he became Srinivas Acharya. So Srinivas Acharya is very, very well versed in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, which is why it is very important for us to pray. Srinivas Acharya also, along with Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit, what their contribution, which is something prevalent we see in modern day ISKCON, is you look at the history of Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instructions. The Goswamis wrote those instructions. What did they do? What did Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit do? Distributed. They distributed instructions. So they were the ones who were responsible for starting the first book distribution party in ISKCON. They had their own monthly Sankirtan festivals where they would travel. That time books were not very accessible. They were all handwritten. but they were the ones, the first group of devotees who actually started distributing the teachings of Krishna, of Mahaprabhu. They showed by example that this knowledge that we have, it's important for us to listen, it is important for us to read, it is equally important for us to distribute. Just hearing and listening and reading is not sufficient. You have to be able to share and distribute, right? That is why Mahaprabhu also says, Tare dekho, yaro kaho, Krishna Padesh. Whoever you see, tell them about Krishna. That is the most important. Reading is important. Reading is important. Listening is extremely important. You cannot share if you don't do the other two. But if you do the other two, you have to share. Like that becomes a requirement there. So Srinivas Acharya, along with Narottam Das Thakur and Shravananda Pandit, stressed the importance of that. Even though Srinivas Acharya was so well read and he shared a lot, he actually didn't write a lot of books or a lot of songs that you like Narottam Das Thakur wrote a lot of very popular songs. But there is one prayer of Srinivas Acharya which is extremely popular. Does anyone know which one that is? It's extremely popular. It is one of Srila Prabhupada's favorite bhajan. I think it is his favorite bhajan if I'm not fully mistaken. Does anyone know? It is the Shad Goswami Ashtaka. It is the prayer that is in glorifications of our Goswamis. And it is said that if one is able to recite Shad Goswami Ashtakam every day, along with attentively chanting their japa, they will have no lusty desires. Krishna will just take care of everything. It's a very beautiful Ashtakam. It is very long, so we will not chant all of those. I'm just going to read the first verse of Shad Goswami Ashtakam, and I encourage everyone to take your time to read it. It is very beautiful. Even if you don't read it, there is an extremely wonderful recording of Prabhupada chanting Shad Goswami Ashtakam. You can find it on YouTube and listen to it in your car or while you're cooking or anytime. It is so beautiful. The first verse goes, Krishna Kirtana Gana Nataparao Premamritambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Janapriyau Priyakarau Nirmatsarau Pujitau Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God. They are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. It's a very beautiful prayer. I highly encourage everyone to read it. So, we spoke about two events? In the news recap, what were the two events? Gopashtami and Srinivas. Just making sure everyone is still awake. Today in my youth class, the teenagers looked a little tired, so I had to discuss about US politics to wake them all up. I don't want to resort to that in the class today. So let's make sure. There was another very important disappearance day that took place this week. Whose disappearance day was that? It was past week? Srila Prabhupada's. His Holiness Jayaprataਪ Maharaj, in his very famous offering, he writes to Srila Prabhupada, Yadi Prabhupada na hoito tabe ki hoito jivana bahita ki se nitai gaurera apara karuna kedita sakala deshe yadi Prabhupada na hoito tabe ke hoito jivana bahita ki se Paschatyerayata papidurachari shunyavadi mayavadi tadera udara karibare mana hinkoya dayanidhi Yadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ke hoito, jivana bahita ki se. If Srila Prabhupada had not come, what would have happened? How could we have passed our lives? Who else would have distributed the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Gauranga all over the world? Which other compassionate person would have endeavored to deliver the miscreants, sinful, impersonalistic, and voidistic people in the West? It's again a very beautiful prayer. We're just reading the first two stanzas. So, every time I've been fortunate to have an opportunity to speak on the Vyasasan, and when I have to speak, especially about Srila Prabhupada, it's a mixed feeling. Because on one hand, there is so much to say, and I still feel like I don't have enough words. There is so much to glorify, and yet I feel like whatever I glorify, it does not come close. That there is more to glorify. Because Srila Prabhupada's contribution is unparalleled. For those of us, particularly here in the Western world, what Srila Prabhupada did, how he did it, it is absolutely unparalleled. I've said this before, and I will say it again. We're all here today, here in city in Round Rock like this, because of Srila Prabhupada's desire to fulfill the instructions of a spiritual master. His entire life, if you read about Srila Prabhupada in Lilamrita, it started with one instruction that was given to him by his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The one instruction was, you are a young man, you should preach these teachings to the Western world. One instruction. That one instruction changed the course not only of Prabhupada's life, of so many, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Actually, it's millions of people that are affected. Because it is not just followers of Srila Prabhupada whose life is touched. Everybody who goes to a Govinda's restaurant and eats prasadam, their life has changed. Everyone who's out on the street when a Rath Yatra is taking place and they get a glimpse of Jagannath, whether they're in Houston or in Honolulu, whether they're in London or Lima, whether they're in like Los Angeles or New York or some small village, even in India, none of that would happen if it wasn't Srila Prabhupada. So millions and millions of people are touched by Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, when he was born, the astrologer predicted that your son, he told to his parents, that your son is set for big things. He is going to become a sannyas, he's going to circle the world, and he's going to establish 108 temples. Today, over 100 years after Prabhupada's appearance, it seems, ye to hona hi tha. It was predicted. But when you think of how radical and revolutionary this was, our Shastras say that for a sannyas to leave, cross the ocean, is considered a sin. It's considered a sin. When Swami Vivekananda had to come to Chicago to give his Hindu address, it was considered like radical. That how someone in saffron can leave India and come. Swami Vivekananda, for all of his great contribution, came here and gave one speech and left. Srila Prabhupada came here and stayed also for many more years in saffron. It's a big deal to break that, I was hearing a class a couple of years back, was by Chinna Jayar Swami of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, and he quoted Prabhupada. He was praising Srila Prabhupada in the class to say that Srila Prabhupada broke the rules and paved ways for not just other sannyasis within the Gaudiya family, but sannyasis in all of our Vaishnava Sampradayas to come out and bring the teachings, our Vedic teachings outside. Make our teachings accessible. I can barely read Hindi. I've been trying to read Hindi just to keep that muscle alive in my brain. I struggle so much. So I'm so grateful that it's in a language that I can read, There are so many other people, for them, if you give a book in English, they're like, I wish this was in like Malayalam or Tamil or Oriya. We have all of that, right? So Prabhupada broke the rules to make things accessible. So many things in Prabhupada's life. Him coming across the ocean. He did not choose, when you read... and this is why it's so important to read Lilamrita, is that especially if we don't know the struggles Prabhupada went through in the beginning, it is impossible to fully appreciate where we are today. We have to read the beginning of the story to appreciate where the story has come to and where it is evolving to, right? Prabhupada struggled so much to get a ticket to come on the Jaladuta. So much. It was not that it was just like Prabhupada had a desire, I want to go to the West, and tickets just manifested. No. He had to beg. He had to beg people. He had to beg Sumati Maharaj for a ship for him to get a seat on the ship. And Sumati Maharaj told him, you're an old man. You're going to die. She was so direct with him, like, you're going to die. There is no way you can survive. This is like, that's okay. My Guru Maharaj ordered me this. I want to do this. You know, to get the visa from, you know, the devotee in Vrindavan who said, oh, my son is living in the US. The son had never seen Srila Prabhupada. Doesn't even know who Prabhupada is. And he says, okay, I'll help him. Gives his name to sponsor, so Prabhupada is able to come with the visa. Prabhupada comes to the US. He doesn't come, you know, even if you take a flight and come. How many of us, when we land, when you take our 16-hour flight from India, you land, you're energized and excited? Anybody? Anybody? I can tell you this, when we land in Dallas or Houston, just to do the 3-hour drive from Houston or Dallas to come to our house seems like this is the most torturous thing on the planet. How? Why? Why are there no direct flights to Austin? Like, this is the 3-hour drive itself. Forget the journey, it's exhausting in the plane. The drive is even more exhausting. You remember Srila Prabhupada came, he left Vrindavan in India, where he was seeing the same samadhi. He was in the same temple that Srinivas Acharya received his knowledge from Jiva Goswami. Same temple, in the same courtyard. That is where Prabhupada was. Seeing the samadhi of all of our acharyas, you said, well, I'm going to leave all of this and go to America. You know? I was discussing this with someone recently where they were just saying there is this, people want, and you know, obviously it's a great country, we're all here and we are grateful to what is offered in this country that allows us to function and do a service, but you got to admit, it's very tough here, right? Like sometimes I joke with my parents, if I knew how tough it was to come here, to not have easy access to help, to have to like get a car to do everything, I think I would have considered a little bit more before wanting to come to the Western world. It is not easy here. With all of our comfort itself, it is not easy, right? It's a struggle. Imagine for Prabhupada, who was 70 years old, who just took a steamship, not a cruise ship, not something comfortable, a steamship, suffered heart attacks and stroke on that steamship, had no money to his name, comes and lands in Boston in fall. It's already cold. And his journey doesn't end there. He did not have a welcoming party. The Uber driver was not waiting for him. There was no family waiting for him with a garland or with like a bouquet of flowers to say, welcome to America, nothing like that. Instead, he had to figure out how to get to the Greyhound and then take a Greyhound bus to go from Boston to Butler, Pennsylvania. It's a 6-hour bus drive, 6 to 8-hour bus drive. This is Prabhupada's entry into America. And I honestly, sometimes I think if I was in that position, I would have gone back straight away. It's okay. I will deal with the Atlantic Ocean, then deal with the Greyhound bus in fall. You know, if you never traveled by Greyhound bus, you may not find that funny. If you ever travel by Greyhound bus, you know how true it is. It is not very comfortable. But Prabhupada did this because he kept remembering the instruction of his spiritual master. 70 years. There's so many, Forbes has a list 30 under 30, but I frankly think they need to have a list of like 70 under 70. Because people like Srila Prabhupada who do this, start something brand new at that age of 70, where no one would have judged him. Srila Prabhupada had said when he was in Vrindavan and he struggled so much to get ISKCON started, he started multiple times and he failed. He had no support. No one would have judged him. Say, it's okay. Your spiritual master gave that instruction. Prabhupada, you wrote the books. Your books went to Japan. Some amount of international outreach. It's okay. You can take rest. No one would have judged Srila Prabhupada. But yet, Prabhupada took it up. No. He came here to the Western world. When he was staying at the house of Sally and Gopal Agarwal, after the first 2 days, they requested him, because the house was small, that, maybe we should get you a room outside. So he didn't even stay in their house. He was staying in a YMCA, and he would come there and he would cook for them. And they would take him to various places, speaking engagements, all of this. Even then, Prabhupada felt that this is too comfortable. We need to do something to preach, means I have to go to a place where impact is made. He comes to New York. When he comes to New York also, so many struggles in New York City, so many struggles. His typewriter gets stolen, all of his manuscripts get stolen. He has to room, a 70-year-old man who's coming to America has to room with 20-year-old drug addicts. That's the state it was in. And then finally, Prabhupada gets, it's this whole story, you read in Lilamrita, the first volume and portion of second volume, it's very emotional. One of my friends shared, she's like, when I read Lilamrita for the first time, I wished I could transport myself then and then just like make a shawl for Prabhupada or like give him a hot bowl of khichdi. Like you feel so terrible that he had to go through all of this. Not because he's our founder Acharya, we want to serve him, but as just human empathy that somebody had to struggle this much. Like if my grandfather had to come to America and he had to deal with this, like I'd feel like I want to be there to help him. Like it was so intense. And then Prabhupada, some interested students came into the way and then they were able to find a storefront for him and rest is history. Srila Prabhupada, everything that he did was revolutionary. Whether coming to America, whether befriending young 20-year-olds who were disillusioned with society. Prabhupada did not start here by wanting to build a big temple for Radha Krishna in a place which had maybe had more Indian people or more wealthy, because Indians had already come. In 1965, I think, is when Lyndon Johnson signed the Immigration Act, which opened the doors for a lot of educated Indian immigrants to come into this country. So it was not that they were not rich Indians at that time in the 60s. They were there. Wealthy Indians were there. People who would have helped Prabhupada were there. But Prabhupada started with the masses. He went to this group of young kids who were frustrated with what the society was. He struggled alongside with them. We read Lilamrita in the early days, Prabhupada cooked for them, cleaned after them. They would come to 2nd Avenue, to the storefront, and Prabhupada was so grateful to these young boys and girls that they were just coming to listen. He would cook for them, clean for them. He would go shopping, buy everything Prabhupada did himself. Until one day, one of them felt, Swamiji is really old and he's doing all of this. Maybe we should help him a little bit. Until they asked, Prabhupada didn't tell them anything. And he was like, you think how revolutionary that is? He never asked for help. He just did it because he was so grateful. Prabhupada changed the face of our movement. He broke so many rules. As a woman, today we have like women pujaris on the altar, which is unheard of. When we had our Festival of India celebrations, we had some visitors come to our temple of other denomination, and when they saw Matajis on the altar, they were shocked. They said, women can be priests here? I said, yes, women can absolutely be priests here. We don't think twice about it, right? We go to temples, we don't think, you see Matajis on the altar, big deal. But it is a big deal. It is a huge deal, actually. And that was because of Prabhupada, giving women the ability to Gayatri. Forget just women. Our Shastras describe, that you don't give it just to anybody like that. And Prabhupada gave it to people irrespective of their skin color, their race, their origin, nothing. They are committed to Krishna. They deserve to be rewarded for that. Prabhupada saw no difference between anybody. Everyone was treated the same way. And Prabhupada was always in the trenches. Srila Prabhupada, once ISKCON was established and things were going, he had his young disciples, they were doing big things. They were establishing temples everywhere. It is not like Srila Prabhupada said, Acha, my hard work is done. I struggled for 2 years. Now things are going. I can relax now. Right? I think like that sometimes. When my mother comes to visit, I'm like, I slogged for 11 months a year. Now my mother is here. I'm going to chill. I'm not going to do that, Like you feel like that sometimes, right? Or when vacation comes, I worked so hard, Abhi will take a rest. No. Prabhupada was in the trenches with his disciples. Whether it was trying to secure the land in Mumbai, or whether it was trying to get the temple built in Vrindavan, whether it was trying to install Shri Shri Radha Landanishwara, Prabhupada was in the trenches all the time with his disciples. And even when his disciples were taking rest, Srila Prabhupada was still in the trenches. Prabhu, can we have that verse, please? SB 1350. Prabhupada was in the trenches, translating Srimad Bhagavatam, translating Chaitanya Charitamrita, translating Bhagavad Gita into English, all of these Shastras, making sure that they're available for the masses. Until his dying breath, in 1977, as Srila Prabhupada lay on a bed in Krishna Balram temple in Raman Reti in Vrindavan, Prabhupada was still giving translations of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this verse that's on the screen here, this is the last verse that was translated by Srila Prabhupada. So today's class, before I get into this verse, was actually inspired by a class His Grace, and I mentioned this last time also, a class that His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu gave on Gopashtami at our temple on Zoom. This was back in 2020. This has become one of my favorite verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this was the last verse Prabhupada was translating. So if you've seen pictures or videos, Prabhupada is lying in bed and His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj has a recorder to Prabhupada's mouth and Prabhupada is dictating this translation. Chandrika Vishadas Meraihi Saruna Panga Vikshitai Swakathanam Iva Rajaha Satvabhyam Shashtir Palaka. Those Vishnu forms, and the context of this, because it's in the middle of it, is Brahma has kidnapped his friends, Krishna's friends, and then Krishna's friends are, Brahma, a year has passed and Brahma's like, what just happened? Everyone still looks happy. And then when Brahma comes and he sees Krishna sitting and eating with his friends, and then each of the friends becomes into Vishnu. So this is right before Lord Brahma is having this realization on what just happened, right? So those Vishnu forms, by their pure smiling, which resembled the increasing light of the moon, and by sidelong glances of their reddish eyes, created and protected the desires of their own devotees as if by the modes of passion and goodness. We'll read this purport. It is not a long purport. Those Vishnu forms bless the devotees with their clear glances and smiles, which resemble the increasingly full light of the moon, Shreyak Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. As maintainers, they glanced upon their devotees, embracing them and protecting them by smiling. Their smiles resemble the mode of goodness, protecting all desires of devotees, and the glancing of their eyes resemble the mode of passion. Actually, in this verse, the word Rajaha means not passion, but affection. In the material world, Rajoguna is passion, but in the spiritual world, it is affection. In the material world, affection is contaminated by Rajoguna and Tamoguna, but in the Shuddha Sattva, the affection that maintains the devotees is transcendental. The word Swakarthanam refers to great desires. As mentioned in this verse, the glance of Lord Vishnu creates the desires of the devotees. A pure devotee, however, has no desires. Therefore, Sanatana Goswami comments that because the desires of devotees whose attention is fixed on Krishna have already been fulfilled, the Lord's sidelong glances create variegated desires in relation to Krishna and devotional service. In the material world, desire is a product of Rajogun and Tamogun, but desire in the spiritual world gives rise to a variety of everlasting transcendental service. Thus, the word Swakarthanam refers to eagerness to serve Krishna. This is very beautiful, actually, that it is by Krishna's sidelong glance is that we get the desire to serve. That the service that we are doing to the Supreme Lord is coming by Krishna's mercy to a glance. The last line of this purport is very profound. In class by Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, which he gave a class on this, on Gopashtami and on this verse, highly encourage everyone to listen. Adi Gadadhar Prabhu shared that this was the verse he had heard back in 2019 from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. And it was the same Gopashtami class that His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj gave on this verse, that 1 year later, Adi Gadadhar Prabhu gave on that exactly same verse at our temple on Zoom. And because that class was so inspiring, I had to share the contents of the same class today, because this is how we share. In Vrindavan, there is a place where there was no temple, but a devotee desired, let there be a temple and seva, devotional service. Therefore, what was once an empty corner has now become a place of pilgrimage. Such are the desires of devotees. Srila Prabhupada, when he was taking his last breath in Vrindavan and Krishna Balaram temple, he's mentioning this very profound point, that devotees actually don't have any desires for themselves. They don't. When they have desires, it is desire for the betterment of others. When you look in our Shastras, it describes how one can attract themselves to Krishna, right? And how powerful the desires are that makes Krishna stop and listen to it. When you go through the various stages of bhakti, one of the final one is Krishna Akarshani. Krishna Akarshani means one has become so attractive, the Supreme Lord has to pay attention. Krishna Akarshani. And the only way to attract Krishna, only way to make one attractive to Krishna, where Krishna listens to their desires, is by devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada here is exemplifying that more. In his humility, he's saying a devotee desire, but it was Srila Prabhupada. If you watch old videos of how Vrindavan Dham was before Krishna Balram temple, the Raman Reti where Krishna Balram temple is literally nothing. It wasn't even really a forest. It was just like an empty piece of land. And Prabhupada saw that and desired for a temple of Krishna Balram to be there. It was Srila Prabhupada's shared desire to bring Krishna Balram to Vrindavan. Just as how Prabhupada's desire was to bring Landanishwara to London, to bring Shri Radha Rasbihari to Mumbai, to bring Shri Radha Madhava to Mayapur. Prabhupada's desire was so strong that desire of a Vaishnava is so profound. They're not desiring it for themselves. There is no desire in it for themselves. It is for others. You see this in all of the pastimes we discussed today. Mother Yashoda's desire was it to make the road smooth for herself? No, it was for Krishna. Her desire was so strong, such strong was her desire that Krishna fulfilled that desire by smoothing the road. It wasn't even for Krishna himself. It was because Mother Yashoda desired it for Krishna, Krishna made it happen. Chaitanya Das's desire was to have a child, but was it to just have a child? Why did he want a child? To serve Mahaprabhu. By serving Mahaprabhu, you're serving the entire world. His desire was so strong that Mahaprabhu fulfilled it by having a pioneer in our Gaudiya Parampara, Srinath Srinivas Acharya. So it is not ordinary. And then let's talk about Prabhupada's desire, right? Srila Prabhupada desired in that barren land to see a temple. And Krishna fulfilled that. That desire Srila Prabhupada had, it didn't end in 1977 November when Srila Prabhupada departed. He imparted that into his disciples. There is such a huge difference between a desire and an order, right? What difference is desire is something you want to do. I desire something. I can be given instruction all the time, but unless I desire something, will I truly do it with my heart or not? Many times I hear some devotees say, "Oh, I'm giving up everything and I go to Vrindavan. I'm going to go to Vrindavan. I quit my job, quit everything. I'm going to go to Vrindavan." And I'll tell them, "So wonderful. I wish I could do that one day." But the question is, do I truly wish it? Is that truly my desire to give up everything and go to Vrindavan? Maybe not. Because if it's truly my desire, I will do something about it. Srila Prabhupada did not just have a desire to go build a temple. He was in the trenches, fighting to make sure the temple gets built. Prabhupada didn't just have a desire to go print books or write books. He made sure those books were printed and published. This is why we celebrate the month of Kartik, right? It is not just about having the desire. It is the ability to make the endeavor to get that desire possible. The rest is Krishna's mercy. But when our desire is strong, Krishna will take care of the rest. But the ball is in our court. Do we have a strong enough desire? Because as we honor Srila Prabhupada today, I was reflecting on this, that when he says, a devotee desires, let there be a temple, that is the line that we have used for our temple. When we started doing the renovation of this property, that was the tagline on all of our promotional material. Let there be a temple, coming from this verse. Because that was Prabhupada's desire. It is because of Prabhupada's desire that in the middle of nowhere, in Round Rock, Texas, we have a temple here. It is only because of Srila Prabhupada's desire that Shri Radha Kunj Bihari are here. Prabhupada has empowered his disciples and his disciples' disciples to have that desire, to have this. Without this desire to serve Shri Radha Kunj Bihari, why would Krishna come? And the desire cannot end. Oh, Radha Kunj Bihari are here. Okay, chalo, my desire is fulfilled. I'm done. No. The desire should always be there. Always. Like eternally we should desire to serve the Lord. Because such are the desires of devotees. When Krishna sees us sincerely, we may not be devotees fully. We're working our way there, right? We're in that journey. When Krishna sees our desire, he will help us. And if we don't have a desire, let's cry. Let's pray for the desire. Ainda Prabhu would say, if you cannot cry when you're chanting, then cry. Why can you not cry that you're chanting? If you don't have a desire, let's pray for that desire. Because if we do have a desire to serve the Lord, Krishna takes care. You know, we see that. Prabhupada's life is an example of what desire can do and how powerful this is. So today, on this auspicious month, in this auspicious month of Kartik, as we're honoring Krishna, who has now become a big boy, as we're recognizing our acharyas like Srinivas Acharya and remembering Srila Prabhupada's contribution, we need to look within ourselves. Do we have strong desires to serve Krishna? We have strong desire to read? Do we have strong desire to chant attentive japa? Do we have a strong desire to serve Vaishnavas? Do we have a strong desire to serve Shri Shri Radha Kunj Bihari? I cannot ask you the question today because it is a personal conversation one should have within themselves with their deities and assess where we are at. If we are not able to have strong desires to serve the Lord, we pray to Krishna. Krishna, I don't have a desire today, but I want to have a desire. I pray to have a desire. So guide me so that one day I may desire this. Because when you desire something, nothing is a chore. You know? Like if I'm having this deep desire to eat rasmalai, like from a particular store that their rasmalai is the best, I will move mountains to make that happen. Have you not seen that? Sometimes, if you desire something very strongly, you make a lot of endeavor to make it happen, right? Is it not true? I see that in line for prasadam every time, right? Like we're just waiting. Nothing wrong in it. Today we learned the first way to improve our love to Krishna is through food. Nothing wrong in it. But if we truly desire something, we will drop everything to fulfill that desire. We do it day in and day out. So the question is then, are we doing the same thing for our Lord? You know, and if we are not, how do we get ourselves there? So today, it's my prayer, because I know I don't have desires of serving Krishna yet. I'm far away from that. So my prayer to Shri Radha Kunj Bihari is, how can I get that desire to serve you, Lord? That I'm desiring you, because when I truly desire to serve Shri Radha Kunj Bihari, I will serve them. It is not a chore. We will dance, you know. When you truly desire to chant the holy name of Japa, picking up a bead bag, it should give us immense joy. Like when you pick up our bead bag to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, tears should flow from our eyes. How fortunate we are to be in Kali Yuga, to receive mercy of Mahaprabhu Prabhupada, to be able to chant. The tears sometimes come from our eyes when we pick up the bead bag, but it is because, it is 10 o'clock at night and I have 16 rounds left, why? So those are not the tears, right? The tears are like the joy of the privilege of chanting. So until we get that desire, we pray to Srila Prabhupada, we pray to Srinivas Acharya, we pray to Mother Yashoda, who bound Krishna with our love, that, hey, Mother Yashoda, hey, Srinivas Acharya, hey, Srila Prabhupada, please give us the desire that we can also bind Krishna with our love through chanting of Krishna's holy name. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Srinivas Acharya ki jai, Mother Yashoda ki jai. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining for our Sunday Feast program. I want to thank Mahasundari Madhavi for taking us through the pastimes of Gopa Ashtami festival, which was yesterday, to glories of Srila Prabhupada, which is one of my favorite topics. In fact, while sitting here listening to her, I was inspired to announce impulsively here that we should start reading Your Ever Well-Wisher. That was the first book I ever read and my life changed. I was 19-year-old. And we will start the reading of Your Ever Well-Wisher. Prabhu's Sangha is a WhatsApp group for all the Prabhus. I don't know, Matajis have too many reading groups, I can't even catch up with them, but at least for the Prabhus, we will start the Your Ever Well-Wisher and we'll start reading from this week. Hopefully you can join us 30 minutes every day. We have a number of announcements today, but we'll get to them later. Now is the time for Aarti. So we'll ask everyone to please rise, and we'll have Aarti Kirtan, and then we will we'll have Damodar Ashkam. So first Damodar Ashkam, so we'll line up for Damodar Ashkam and then the Aarti will continue transition into Aarti. So Damodar Ashkam line will be formed on that side. Ananya, I saw you somewhere.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं व्रजमानं यशोदावियोलुकलाधवमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्त तोधृत्य गोप्या यशोदावियोलुकलाधवमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्त तोधृत्य गोप्या नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृजन्तं करभोजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रं रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृजन्तं करभोजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रं मुहुश्वासकं पात्रीरेखङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिवदं मुहुश्वासकं पात्रीरेखङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिवदं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले आनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमाजन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमाजन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयशिताग्निषु भक्तर्चिता त्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे तदीयशिताग्निषु भक्तर्चिता त्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवदिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषादपीह वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवदिं वा न चान्यं वरेषादपीह इदं देव पूर्णाता गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्य वीरस्तं किमन्ये इदं देव पूर्णाता गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्य वीरस्तं किमन्ये नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले घृतं कुण्डले स्निग्धारक्तश्च गोप्या इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले घृतं कुण्डले स्निग्धारक्तश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्तादरं मे मनस्य विरास्तं मालं लक्षलाभे मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्तादरं मे मनस्य विरास्तं मालं लक्षलाभे नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गृहाणेशमामज्ञमेत्यक्षिदृश्या कृपादृक्षिदृश्यातिदीनम्बतारि नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं कुबेरात्मजो बता मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितो भक्तिवाचकृतौ च कुबेरात्मजो बता मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितो भक्तिवाचकृतौ तत प्रेम भक्तिं स्वाकामे प्रयाच न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे दामोदरे तत प्रेम भक्तिं स्वाकामे प्रयाच न मोक्षे नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसकुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसकुण्डलं व्रजमानं नमस्ते स्तुदाने स्फुरादीप्तिदाने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य दाने नमस्ते स्तुदाने स्फुरादीप्तिदाने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य दाने लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोदाभियोरुखलादपमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्तातो धृत्यगोप्या यशोदाभियोरुखलादपमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्तातो धृत्यगोप्या हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Radha Kunja Vihari, Radhe Radhe, Radha Kunja Vihari, Radhe Radhe, Bolo Radha Kunja Vihari, Radhe Radhe, Radha Kunja Vihari, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Oh Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Namamishwaram Sachidanandvarupam Rasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam, Namamishwaram Sachidanandvarupam Rasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Jaya Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar, Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar,
request everyone to bow down, please. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Privedikacharya Sto Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Privedikacharya Sto Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrind Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Brihad Mridanga Ki Jai, Samaved Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Navashankaya.
Jagadish